morning, everybody. Welcome back again to a soft skills session. I hope you're liking them, and what I want to tell you all is whatever I'll be speaking about in these sessions, they're not just good for your class or for your college, they're going to help you in life. Whether it is having a positive attitude or whether it is, today's topic I'm going to take is time management. Time management is a topic which is good for everyone, whether you are a student, whether you're just a friend, whether you're a child, whether you're working, whether you're a teacher, doctor, politician, everybody and all the successful people have mastered the art of time management. The great thing about time management is that everybody has time given to him in a right proportion. That is, the rich man doesn't have 36 hours and the poor man doesn't have 24 hours. Everybody is equal when it comes to time. So it is how you make use of this time that matters. Because here again somebody once said that it's not the time management which is important, but it is in the given amount of time, how you manage yourself. That is what, it is managing ourselves in the given time. So as a teacher, as a faculty, I have heard these excuses many times whenever you say, why didn't you complete it? Ma'am, I didn't have enough time. Or ma'am, that was too much in that time. When at the same time, some students have completed it and some people have not been able to do it. And they come up with these excuses about time. So what I want to tell you all is time is the same for everyone. Whether you're a student, whether you tomorrow when you become a professional, maybe a businessman, maybe a CEO, maybe a manager, even then you'll have only 24 hours, not a second more or a second less. So we have to learn how to manage this time efficiently, effectively, productively in these 24 hours. And I'm sure as students, especially in India, we have everything done for us. Your mom cooks you breakfast, your father gives you the pocket money, and then she wakes you up to get dressed to college, and she's sort of pushing you to go to, catch that bus. So we actually give very little importance to time. And actually there's a saying that, as Indians, we are a little laid back in the sense that we don't give that much importance to time as the people in the West. When somebody says 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. a meeting starts, you have to be there not at 8 but at 7:59 or before 7:59. So that's the way time is calculated there. And if we have to become successful, we have to manage time effectively. Let's see what goes into the art of time management. So what is time management? Time management is controlling the use of your most valued resource, time. There's a saying, I don't know, you must have heard of it. Time and money are the same. So but I disagree here. Because if you lose money, you can always recover the money. You can work harder and get the money back. If you've lost it somewhere, you can find it, probably you'll get it back. But time, if you've lost it, if it's past, you can never get it back. Can you get back yesterday? If those of you missed yesterday's session, can you get it back today? Probably not. Can you get back yesterday, even an hour from yesterday, today? Can you say, God, I was very lazy yesterday. Today I want to make the best use of it. Give me 1 hour extra. Do you think that will happen? No. So time and money, they say, are the same, but time is more precious than money. Money can be earned. Money can be gained. All this you will understand only when you grow up. But here we are trying to give you a small suggestion, some tips so that you can make best use of this most undervalued resource. Undervalued in the sense we don't give it that much value. We think, oh, time is there, there's lots of time. So this is an undervalued resource. We do not realize its importance until it has passed. You know, I'm sure all of you are going to write some exams, or you were writing exams, and then when you're sitting there a month before the exams, you think, oh, I have a month to study. That's okay. I can revise. I can do it all in a month. And then when you keep thinking that, and then when it's probably a week gone by, and then you think, oh, I still have 3 weeks to do. That's fine. And it's only when it comes to the last 10 days or 1 week or something that you really get flustered and say, oh my God. And then you start studying, and then you realize how much is left without revising, and then you realize that you should have used that time. So it is undervalued because you don't value it as much as other things. So spending what is time management? It is using the minutes, the seconds, the minutes, hours that we have effectively as possible in a day. There are some people, you know, who say, I'm going to do this in, after some time. What is that after some time? Because unless you put a specific date to it, you will never do it. So always think of what you're going to do on this day. Today, what you're going to do. Every day matters, every hour matters, every minute, every second matters. So think about what you're going to do in the next hour. Are you going to use it productively by reading something or watching something that is, going to help you in to gain knowledge or information? Everything need not be only about study, because you can watch a National Geographic channel and learn a lot. You can watch a Discovery channel and learn a lot. You can watch a news channel and learn a lot. You can even watch entertainment channel, but learn the things which are important. Learn the teamwork that they have. Learn the precision. If you see Indian Idol or some of these, learn the precision with which they sing. You think those people who have come on Indian Idol are having it easy? Oh, they've just been selected. It's all luck. My dear friend, it's not luck at all. It's a lot of hard work goes into it. If they are youngsters, the hard work of the parents also goes into it. They have to use their time so effectively. They have to practice, they have to sing those songs, they have to tape those songs, record them, and again perform on stage. So they have to use their time very effectively to reach that stage. So it is time. All of us have time, and all of us have different activities. You know, it is prioritizing those activities. Which will you do first? Which will you do later? This is what is most important. Actually, to tell you in student terms, a person who's getting a first rank or a person who's getting a 100th rank, probably they work the same. They do the same things. They revise the same things. They take rest only for 2 hours, or I don't know, other than the 8 hours sleep, or they may be watching television. They may be doing it right, the same way. But the difference here is what is the first ranker prioritizing. When does he take that 2 hours rest? Does he say, I'll get up very late, I'll get up at 10 and then start studying instead of 7? So is he prioritizing sleep over study? But does the first ranker get up early and study, and then when he is tired, take that 1 hour break? See how the same time amount of study or rest is going into the day. But how you prioritize your time, that's what matters. So what's in it for me? I think if you all want the short form, WIIFM, all of you have probably know this. WIIFM means what's in it for me. Why should I prioritize time? So what happens when you prioritize time, or when you start thinking of time in productive sense? You get more organized. See, when I'm sure your mother, she knows the value of time, because she knows when to get your breakfast ready. Now today you're doing online, maybe she'll be a little listening, but she knows when exactly your bus is going to leave. She knows when you have to go. She'll get your breakfast ready, she knows when to wake you up, she knows how to complete her other chores later, and she knows when to watch television. I'm sure she does that for entertainment as well. She knows when to take rest because she is organized her time in such a way that she caters to all your needs. And if she's a working woman, like I am, then what she does, she even manages her work, her home, her office, her children, her husband, and everything else. And her servants, everything. Everything has to be managed. As a student, you have to manage your college or school, whatever you were until now. Then you had to manage your friends, you had to manage your home, you had to manage your studies. I'm sure if you never go out with your friends, nobody will call you. So you have to manage your friends as well. You have to give some time to them. But the thing is, we don't know how much time to give them. In the process, we lose out on a lot of important things. So you become more organized, and then you plan better. I'm sure whenever you're going out for a holiday, you plan. Okay, we'll start at this hour, or your parents plan, we'll start at this hour. I'm sure when you're going for a picnic, it's a school picnic or a college picnic or a picnic with friends. Don't you plan? We'll get out at this hour, we'll catch the bus at this hour, we'll get off at this hour, then we'll see this. After 2 hours spending there, we'll go somewhere else. So what are you doing? You plan, because you know you have to leave that place by 4 or 5. So you think, okay, we only have about 5 hours to spend there. So what are we going to do there? So for a picnic you plan. But when it comes to your exams, you say, oh, I have so much time. See, that is priorities, prioritizing. The power through procrastination. One of the biggest drawbacks of the modern society, or should I say of any, is procrastination. It's a big word, procrastination. But it's a very simple meaning, that is being lazy and postponing everything till the last minute. This is what most of us do and get away with it, in the sense that nobody tells us that, you cannot postpone, you have to do it now. Nobody says that. So what do we tend to do? Most of us, in our mind, we think, madam asked me to submit that next week, next Monday. Oh, it doesn't matter, today is a Sunday, I still have 1 week to go, I'll do it the next Sunday. So what have you done? You've postponed your assignment to do it the next Sunday. But did you ever think, if you were to fall sick on that Sunday, or let's not go into that negative side, if you had to have about 10 of your cousins visit you on that Sunday, the whole day they're there in your home, you think you could do your homework, you could do your assignment? Or if you had to help your mother or father and go out and do something. So what have you done? You have procrastinated, and then on the day which you thought you would be doing it, you couldn't, because something else came up. So procrastination is one of the things that, distracts us from managing our time well. So as far as possible, there are a few things we have to put away. We have to prioritize. This assignment, was it important or not? As a student, it is very important, because probably your marks are based on that, or your impression. Even if there are no marks, the teacher has an impression. This is a student who does his work on time. The impression is very important, even if there are no marks. That you people don't understand. You think it's only marks. We'll do it only if there are marks. But there's a lot that goes into you having a good impression. If that impression is not to be spoiled, you have to give your assignment on time. How can you do that? You can probably finish it this Sunday when you have the time, and then take it easy the next Sunday if you don't have anything to do. Enjoy yourself, because you know the work is done. But that's not what happens. What happens is, you enjoy this Sunday, postpone it to the next Sunday, and then you're in trouble when it doesn't happen that way. So pressure and stress fade. Imagine if you have not done it and your friends tell you, oh, I completed it by Friday. The next Sunday when it comes and you are still due, you haven't even started the assignment, and then you have some guests over, or you have to do something else, and then you realize that you're under stress, you have to work harder, there's a lot of pressure, whatever you're doing, you're thinking, oh, tomorrow I'm going to be punished because I couldn't complete it. So stress and power, they fade. And once you've done something that you thought you wanted to do, or what you're supposed to do, you have happiness, right? I'm sure, if before exams, if you've thought I'm going to finish a revision one time, and then if you finished one subject, doesn't that give you a lot of satisfaction and happiness? When you're doing something and you completed it, even if it's a painting, even if it's a crafts or something, when you do something and you think, okay, I have to finish it in one day, and then you do finish it in one day, doesn't that give you a lot of satisfaction? That's exactly what you get when you manage your time well. And you feel that it was not so hard, work is pleasant, right? Sometimes it seems hard when there's a mountain of work in front of you. But then if you cut it into small tasks and do it one by one, it becomes so much easier and you yourself will feel better. Do everything on time for once and see how better that makes you feel, how much better. So why do we fail? When we know all this, why do we fail? There are so many sayings on time. Time and tide wait for none. They say that, as you know, tide waits for none, time also waits for none. A stitch in time saves nine. I think you will understand this better if I give it with an example. If you suppose you have a chunni and then you've got a small cut in it. If you leave it and say, okay, it doesn't matter, it's not seen. Surely it's going to catch somewhere and become a big tear. So then you will need 9 stitches. But if you had done that one stitch in time, you didn't have to do that. So a stitch in time saves 9 stitches. Or, the early bird catches the worm. That is, if you're early, you're sure to get the results. Okay? Make hay while the sun shines. What does it mean? That is, when the sun shines is when you have the time, make hay. How does hay is dry grass. How does it become dry grass? How does it become hay or fodder for the animal? When the sun shines. And when does the sun shine? Not the whole day. It only shines maybe 6 to 8 hours in a day or maybe 10 hours in a day. So those 10 hours you have to dry the grass or else you can't do it. So make hay while the sun shines. All these are idioms on time. Because people very early on realize the importance of time. So most people see them, they set plans, oh, I'm going to do this. But then they get behind because they do not stick to their schedule. I'm sure before exams you make a schedule saying, Monday I'm going to study this, Tuesday this, okay, 3 days I'm going to finish the syllabus, then Friday, then Thursday, Friday, Saturday I'm going to finish the other subject. Some of you at least, if not all of you, some of you have a schedule. But what happens is, Monday you started, but then you planned to study for 3 hours, but you couldn't because the first day it's very, very difficult, to study something and pay attention, to concentrate. So you did it only for 2 hours, and the next day you felt lazy, you didn't do it, and the third day you studied for another 2 hours. So instead of finishing the whole syllabus, you only finished half. And then you go to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, also doing the same subject. So what do you do when you think, oh my God, by the end of Saturday, I should have finished 2 subjects. And I'm here only completing 1. And then you say, forget the schedule, I'm not going to do it. And then you completely leave it. Because you've gone behind schedule. That's why they fail. If you get behind schedule, you fail because you think it's not possible. Okay, and then they give up as a hopeless cause, but most successful people, even when they get setbacks, they work twice as hard to achieve what they want to do. But if you were a good student, or if you were a student, sensible student who knows how to manage time, what would you do? Though you've studied for only 2 hours on the Monday, you would study for an extra hour on Tuesday to make up for that Monday, and then probably study for half an hour or 1 hour extra on Wednesday as well, to see that you had completed the schedule. Even people who are very successful have setbacks. It's not that they're perfect and they can do accordingly everything to the minute. No, they also have problems. They also have the same things as you do. But what do? When they get a setback, they try to make up for it by working a little extra, a little harder. And then the schedule is there always, and then you can follow it. So, this is one common complaint we get from everybody, whether it's a student, whether it's a father, it's a maid, everybody says, oh, why didn't you Madam, there was no time, I couldn't do it. And actually, it's not the time, it's the direction. That is lack of direction. They just didn't know what was important and they didn't know how to focus. That's why they couldn't do it. You can see that I'm putting all the names in front of the quotes. It's always good to, give the name of the quotation because it is quoted by someone. I've just borrowed it to show it to you people. Okay. Do I need time management? Do I need time management? Do you often need to study before exams late into the night? If you're a student who's studying till say 12 or 1 or 2 in the night before next day's exam, you do need time management. Okay? Are you missing deadlines and projects are delayed? You said you had to give that assignment until Monday morning. In the morning also you're doing some finishing touches to that assignment. Then you need time management. Does everything seem equally urgent? Oh my God, I have so many things to do. I have to finish my project, then I have to iron my shirt, and then I have to catch the bus, and then I have to do something else. So are you always running out of time to do a lot of things? Then you need time management. Do things get cancelled at the last minute? Sometimes you thought you would do this, oh, I'll do that, I'll help my mom also do something this Sunday. But I can't do it because, I have this project to do. You're cancelling something. Or you plan to go out with a friend after you finish the project, but then you couldn't. He calls at 4 and he says, no, I have not finished my assignment yet, I have to cancel it, I'll do it next week. If you're cancelling something, it means you need time management. And you have to say no to people's requests. Then, and the work just piles up. Or can you say no to requests? Actually, you have to learn to say no to requests. I know some students who, they want to be very good, they want to be very helpful, which is a good thing, which is a fantastic thing. But just as they say in an aeroplane also, there's a warning when you get into a flight, they say, if there is turbulence and all that, when the oxygen mask falls down, first put your own mask and then help the passenger next to you. Even if it's your own child, put your own mask first so that you get oxygen and then help your child. Because you're no use to anybody if you're dead, right? So if you don't put your mask probably, how can you help someone? Probably you can start, but you wouldn't live to help the other one. So it's always to first be a little selfish there and do your work first and then help somebody else. There are students who help the whole class and then they say, Madam, I was helping him, so I couldn't finish. So that's a very wrong type of priority to have. And do you feel stressed out and out of control? This is also one of the reasons where you need to manage your time well. So one thing we have to understand that time is the main thing. If that was there, time is not the main thing. Miles Davis says, it's the only thing you have to worry about because it is something which will not come again, something which will not be, stored, it cannot be kept, it cannot be called back, it cannot be, so it is the only thing which you have to pay attention to. So how do we waste so much time? Why do we waste so much time? What are the things that, we waste time on? Let's look at some of the things. All these may not apply to all of you, but some of them may apply to some of you, and there may be some others which I have not mentioned. These are a few things that are common. So procrastination and excuses, that I'm sure is common to everybody. So what do? We are always finding excuses. Whenever you can't finish something on time, excuse. Your mother knows that you have a schedule for study and you say, she sees you outside at that time, she says she watches television or talking on the phone. Hey, but you had planned to study this hour. Ma, I studied from morning, 2 hours. I'm tired now. So I have talked on the phone for just 10 minutes. But that 10 minutes turns to an hour before you know it. The funny thing about time is when you're studying, it seems so long. But when you're watching television, it passes so quickly, right? Is there some trick it's playing on us? That it passes so quickly when we do something that we like, and it passes so slowly when we do something that we don't like. all of us know that the time passes exactly on time. But it's the thing, it's our mind, it's our attitude towards whatever we are doing that makes the difference. So try to enjoy, things that are important. Try to enjoy your study. Try to take satisfaction from that work. And then you will not find it hard. So you will not have to make excuses. Running errands and commuting. This is something all of us do, but if we are always running errands, not doing the actual work, we could get into trouble. So try to minimize those rushing. And we think that if we rush, we can get things done quickly, but rushing always makes you do things wrong, and then you have to go back and do it again correctly. So always try not to rush and do them with attention, carefully, and then you probably will not have so much wastage of time. Telephone, email, and mail. Of course, this is, for you youngsters, I'd say telephone. Your cell phone is the main culprit. Today, you have social media and, all these apps, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and, so many more, which it's very difficult to, name all of them also. So all these things, you're members of everything, and you have to see everything before you sleep or you start study or every day. So what happens is you're wasting so much time without even your own knowledge. Today, actually the phone is so smart. Today it tells you how many times you picked up the phone to see it. Right? Smartphones, you have that. So you just look at that figure and see how many times in a day you picked up the phone. And it also tells you what was the longest time you spent on the phone. Look at that and see how much time you wasted. I'm not saying you just give up the phone. It would be good if you do that, because it is not a necessary thing. It's not at all a necessary thing for the students. But all of you have got phones now, because a lot of thing is going on. Technology is improving so fast, classes online. But how many of you use this phone? I'm sure you got it from your parents saying, I have an online class, I need to have a phone or a laptop or an iPad. But how many use it only for that? You spend 3 hours on or maybe 4 hours on online classes and 16 hours on doing something else. Probably chatting, watching Facebook, commenting, Instagram posts, all these things, or chatting with friends. See how much time you're using, very unproductive. So computers and the internet, that's also, you waste a lot of time on that. Planning and decision making. Some people plan very well, but they don't use it. And also, they keep on thinking, should I do this, should I do that? They spend a lot of time in dilly-dallying or not coming to a decision. That also takes a lot of time. And entertainment, television and radio. And just saying yes. Just saying yes to everything also is a time waster. Hey, can you come to that movie with me tomorrow evening? Yes. Oh, shall we go out for dinner? Yes. Will you study with me? Yes. Will you do this shopping for me as you're going out? Will you buy that book for me? Oh yeah, yes. So you're doing all this, and which one do you think you will give up in the last minute because you have no time? Probably the studying bit, where you study with me, array, today I can't because I have to go shopping for something, and I promised somebody that I'd buy something for them, their book as well. So I can't, so I'll give up on this. So, but have you prioritized which is more important? If not you, that other friend would have got that book from somewhere else. But you give up your time, waste your time, go and do that. I'm not saying it's bad to help someone, but it's good only when you use your time effectively. So, better 3 hours too soon than 1 minute too late. William Shakespeare said that long, long ago. He was in the 17th century. He's a writer of the 17th century. And he said, it's better to be 3 hours early than 1 minute too late. You'd agree if you had missed a train or a bus sometime, right? So how to succeed? Make commitment to spend 10 or 15 minutes a day to plan ahead. Always plan ahead. There is a saying in English that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You plan to fail. Did you get that? If you fail to plan, if you don't make a plan, your plan is to fail. Whether you have a plan or not, you're going to fail. So, the thing is, always plan ahead. People with, how do you think a Narendra Modi or, these big politicians who are so, you watch him on television, he's giving a speech, and then he's doing an opening somewhere, then he's working on that farmer's education, and then he's talking about coronavirus, and he's giving a statement on that. So how do you think he gets so many things done? Because he has a schedule. He plans everything. Probably there are people to plan it for him, but finally he has to do all those things. Nobody can impersonate him, right? He has to be at that time, at that moment, at that place to do it. So planning is done. If you plan correctly, you can cover a lot of things which we see happens. Define tasks clearly, create deadlines, focus on the more important tasks. This is one of the things which we have to pay attention to. I'm not saying it's only students, it's everybody. Most of us sometimes get carried away about, which is more important. Is this work more important or that one more important? We don't pay attention. Oh, this has to be done, we'll do it. We try to, do things which are not so important first and leave the important till, because that is difficult. I'm sure you will, if you have an assignment, if you have homework saying, you have to study for an exam, and that you had to copy notes, and that you had to draw a picture, and that you had to, download something from the computer. I'm sure you would do the download something from the computer, draw a picture, copy notes, all these first, then study for the exam. Isn't that true? Because studying for the exam is difficult. That is what is tough. So we try to do things which are easy first. But what happens when you do things which are easy? You've wasted a lot, not wasted, you've taken a lot of time to copy notes. Instead of doing it like in an hour, you've taken like 3 hours to copy the same notes with small breaks and all that. And then instead of doing it for, with just simple diagram you had to draw in the book, instead of drawing it just simply, you've gone to great length with great precision, and just in your record book, so you wanted it to be perfect. Instead of spending an hour or 2 on that, you spent 4 hours on that diagram. And then the other thing was download something from the computer, because that is easy to do. You didn't and served, and you looked at this and that, and finally decided what was important, download. By this time what has happened? You spent 8 or 9 hours of the day doing things which were not so important, but because it is the exam which is going to give you the marks. You're going to be assessed according to your performance in this test. But what did you do? You used all your time doing things. I'm not saying they are unimportant. They are important too, but not as important. That is what is called prioritizing. So if you had studied for the exam first, and then if you had studied maybe for 6 hours for the exam, and then you have 3 hours left, so quickly you can finish the other 3 in an hour each. But what happened? You did it the other way. That's what most of us do. So after this class, try to prioritize. And break the tasks into smaller sections and allocate estimated time. So when you say, I want to finish this subject in 3 days, it's very easy. 3 days, 24 hours, so it's, it's a lot of time, 72 hours. Every day, 72 hours. Oh, I can finish this subject. But if you break it down, so generally in colleges and all, a subject is given 5 units or something, 5 to 6 units. So suppose you break it into 6 units, and then each unit has 5 topics, which are quite tough. So if you break it down to 6 units and each unit has 5 topics, so even if 3 days would be not at all be sufficient. If you give it 6 days, and then each unit has 5 or 6 topics again. 6 topics, if you give each topic maybe an hour and a half, it's exactly maybe 7.5 to 8 hours, 9 hours. Do you think you can study continuously for 9 hours in a day, especially in the beginning? I'm sure not. So what happens is you end up doing 1 unit for 2 days, and then you realize that this is a vast topic or a vast subject which I have to speed up. So it's always good to break it up and schedule the exact time. Use regular block of time for an activity. That is, block your time and do it regularly. Okay? Delegation of workload. Whatever you think you cannot do. This is actually for maybe working people. Instead of doing everything themselves, they can delegate some things to others. So what are the 3 keys to effective time management? So whenever it is tough for you to help someone, learn to say no. And define priorities. The word, the buzzword, the actual word here is priorities. And avoid distractions. There are going to be many distractions. For students especially, the TV is a distraction, the phone is a distraction, the iPad or the computer is a distraction. Then you have other devices which are all distractions. Try to avoid distraction. I know a lot of students who, when they are even studying, they keep their phone on. So every time the phone rings, or it need not ring, every time a message comes, there's a beep or a bell, whatever you've arranged, and then each time that comes, your attention gets diverted, right? You want to look at the phone. Even if you don't look at the phone, your mind is saying there's a message, there's a message, there's a message. And then you have to look at the phone. So what you can do is, to avoid distractions, is switch it off, put it in a place where you cannot see it, and then start your study. That way, there is nothing that is as urgent. If you're at home, your mother and father are with you, there's nothing so urgent that you have to answer your phone. You're not Prime Minister Modi or, Jagan or any of these politicians where immediately you have to, send a reply back. Or you're not running a government or a country or even your own house. So, you're not, you give yourself self-importance. What if I don't answer, something is going to happen? Nothing is going to happen. So, prioritize. Learn to focus. Learn to say no. The sun can be warded off by applying sunscreen lotion. The sun is such a powerful thing. But even that, you can, divert this thing by applying some sunscreen lotion. And the same sun, if you use it concentratedly, you make it into a beam. As children we used to do this. We used to take a concave lens or a convex lens, used to make the sun come there and send it as a powerful beam onto a piece of paper, and it would catch fire. I'm sure you've tried this experiment earlier on, some of you at least. So, concentrated beam can cut the hardest diamond. How do they cut diamonds? Diamonds is the hardest rock on earth. How do they cut it? The beam, the laser beam, which is so strong, if it is concentrated, it can cut even the hardest rock. So, sun can be used, light can be used in many ways. So, how to use technology? If you know how to use emails, computer properly, you can know how to program your emails, built-in calendar, appointments and meetings, to-do lists, and reminder and alert functions. On the phone today we have so many functions, alert functions. If it is so important that you don't want to miss it, you can have an alert function. You don't have to keep on thinking about it and waste your time. And then you have to-do lists. Make a to-do list and put it on your phone. What do I have to do by 10:30 on Tuesday? What do I have to do by evening 6 p.m. by Tuesday? What should I complete? Easy. So he's sort of juggling time. What are the hurdles? Lack of commitment. It's not that we don't want to do it. It's just that we're not committed enough to take that time to do it. And procrastination. That, as I told you, the biggest P is procrastination, is postponement. Fear of failure or success. Low self-esteem. Why do people procrastinate? If you were asked to give in a speech to write and you don't do, I'll do it after everybody does. Why? Because you're low on self-esteem. What if yours is not so good? So don't worry about all these things. Lack of prioritization. And the task is too daunting. That means too difficult. You assume the task to be so difficult. Why don't some people start studying? My God, that subject is very tough. I cannot finish it. So you stop doing it at all. So isn't going to get easier if you start it late? Is it going to become much more simpler if you don't do it? Never. So the best thing would be to take it on in the beginning, cut it into small parts, divide it into small parts and do it. Plan, plain stupidity and overconfidence. I didn't want to put this, but anyway, plain stupidity. Why don't people manage time well? Well, actually, maybe they're just stupid and, and overconfident. They think, oh, we can do it last minute. That's okay, ma'am, I'll do it. Overconfidence is one of the biggest killer of time. What are the effects? If you manage time well, what happens? Promotes efficient work practices, highlights wastage, effective use of time, focus the chosen activity, reveals problems, and take control of time, own time, and evaluate the usage. So these are the effects if you use your time well. So the biggest mistake we do is we make to try to use each second fully, which is not possible. So what should you do? Don't try to achieve every goal you want to achieve. Achieve only the goals that you need to stay focused and the important things in life. Only look at the important things in life. Don't look at all the unnecessary things. I want to do this. I want to become a good tennis player, and then I want to be a chess player, and then I want to get first rank, and then I want to do medicine, and then, so many things. Concentrate on a few first. Concentrate on a few, get those right, and then think about other things. Nobody can achieve everything. A good cricket player did not study well. Whether it's a Sachin Tendulkar or Virat Kohli. They were not very good at their studies, but they became great cricket players. A great doctor may not be able to play cricket. So suppose he thought, I want to become a cricket player and a surgeon. Is it possible? No. You should know what to prioritize, what is your heart in, and go for it. Focus on that, and you will succeed. Achieve only on the goals that you need and stay focused. If you waste your time, you waste your life. And if you value and are stingy with your time, you should be stingy. Just like money, be very careful with time. And spend every second wisely. You're getting the most of it. Okay? So here, now I just want to show you a small experiment. You can call it an experiment or whatever, on how we tend to use time very inefficiently. So I'll just, with a small jar and some pebbles, I'm going to show you something. So here we go. As you can see, this jar is empty and this is our time. Let us think of it as we have 24 hours time in this jar. And whatever I'm going to put in it is the, the work or the prioritized work that I'm going to do in these 24 hours. So what I'll do is, I've got some pebbles here, or some stones, which I'm going to put in this jar. So I'm going to do it very carefully. This is one of the important work that I have to do every day. I have to cook for my family, suppose, and then I have to, let's take it as my time. I have to go to work. Then I have to, settle everything, organize everything at home. I have to teach my children and do everything, everything else. Then I have to manage, whatever things I have to buy from outside and things like that. I have to manage, go to the bank, manage my money, and I've put all some of the things that I do. And then I have lots of other things to do. Say I have to go and buy vegetables, and then I have to go and buy some fruits, and then I have to go to I have to get dressed, I have to go to college, and then I have to, speak with my neighbors, then I have to take the car to the, for whatever repairs or something, and then maybe I have to iron my clothes, and then I have to do a lot of gardening at home, and then, all these are other works that I do. So I can't name all of them now, but you think of all the other things that I do. Oh my God, Isn't that jar full? I have already, I'm going to shake it and see if it's full. Yeah. So all of you, do you think my jar, my time is full? I've done everything that I needed to do and nothing else is going to go into that jar. I'm trying to shake it and see if it, I can put something else in there. No way. I can't put anything in that jar because it's almost full with the time I have. The 24 hours that I have, I've completely filled the jar with all the works I need to do. Right? Wrong. Let's see what else I can put in. See, there are some small tidbits, like these are all some gravel. So see, there is so much time that's left in between these tasks. See how much of this small things that I can fit in here. This is maybe looking at my phone, sending emails, texting my friends, talking to my colleagues, talking to my maid. See, there are so many more things that I can do with my time. I can fill this with all the gravel that I have. So I can actually put in a lot more if I shake it a lot more. See, I'm able to put in a lot more stuff. So is it full now? It's come to the brim. Is it full now? More or less, yes. Do you think I cannot put in anything else? Wrong again. See, now there is time or place to put in some sand. See, if I shake this properly, I can put in a lot of sand. The sand is probably things which I would have to do at home, spend my time probably, talk to my children, talk to my parents, talk to my husband, answer phone calls, do some extra cooking and lots of other things, See how the sand is settling in the jar? See, first we thought with the big things, with the important things, the jar is full. Now I can fill this jar up with a lots of sand. I can still actually, I've got a tumbler full of sand which I can just pour it in and it'll I can still put in a lot of work or lot of stuff in this jar which is, almost full. So if I keep on shaking it, I can still fit in all these things. See, all the sand is settling at the bottom. Is it full? Suppose I fill this up. Is it full now? Yes, it's almost full now. It's full. I've done a lot today or, on a particular day. But yet, there is some more space. What do you think I can put in more? Of course, I can fill it with sand. All these empty spaces would be full of sand. Then, I could add water. So do you think, I'm sure for the whole of this bottle, the water could just go right in. If we thought this was full, see how much more things I can do with this water. I can fill this whole jar up with a lot of water. These are all the little things that I can do with my time the whole day. And we thought in the beginning that just those stones or the big chunks was all I could fill in. I could fill some more sand and some more water. You see how, though we thought it was full, I've done everything, we still were able to squeeze in those little things with time. That's exactly how you can use your time. But there's a little catch here. What we do is, if you put all the little, what I was talking to about the gravel and the sand, those are my telephone calls. Those are my talking with my friends or with my children or with my parents. And those are the things that what the little gardening I do or talking to my neighbors or, playing something. So all these things is the gravel and sand. Suppose I put all these things in first and then try to say, okay, I'll do my cooking later. And then I want to put in that big stone. Do you think that stone, that, priority or the important task would go into the jar? No, because it would already be full with little things like, the gravel and the sand would fill it up. then I probably could not fit in all these big chunks, which are most important. That's what we do, you know. We waste our time in filling our jar with all the little things, like talking to phone, watching WhatsApp, Facebook, you know, spending time going out, doing little errands for a mother, or, you know, take time dressing up, selecting a dress. We do all these things. The last thing, oh, I'll study in the end. And then you want to put that in the end. Will it fit in? No, the time is up. The time has already been taken by these little things unknowingly. So, the moral of this jar story is that if you want to all these big stones are the priorities in life, are the priorities for you. So, if you want to succeed, you have to get your priorities right. Put the big chunks in first. Put the, you know, your plan to study, your assignment, your whatever you have to do for your success. Put those in first. Use that time effectively for those things. And then add the little bits. I'm not saying just add big chunks in your jar. Everybody has other little bits to do. But those should go in next. The priority should be, you know, scheduled. You should know what your priorities are. Only then you will succeed in managing your time well. So lastly, manage time, exploit technology, and there is never a wrong time to start right things. So better start now. Manage your time as effectively as possible from now. You got this, you know how you have to put in the big things first, big stones first. Big stones are the priorities. Big stones are the things which you need to do as a child, as a student, as a parent, as a professional. Do those things first. The little things you can add on later, because there still will be small chunks of time. But if you spend all your time in doing little things which are not so important, then what happens is, in the end, you will not have enough time to do what is important. I hope you got that right, and like I said, there's never a wrong time to do the right thing. So start using your time well from now on. Make a schedule, put it in a place where you can see it in front of your cupboard, or in your dressing table, or in your book, or stick it to a book, back page of a book. Look at how you've scheduled your time. See if you're using it effectively, and if you stick to that schedule, you know exactly whether you're doing the right thing. I mean, whether you've taken it too much, you put in too less time for a big job. So try to increase that, and then surely you will succeed. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is so intelligent and that they only have to come first. You can do it too. It's just that they manage their time better than others. So you can go for it too. Good luck with your time. Keep doing well. Keep managing time properly, and start now. Good day. Have a good day.